Last but not least, I'm going to close this monologue talking about the Atlanta United Football Club. Atlanta United. There's some people in that organization that didn't heed my warning since last summer when I was telling you that International Miami was a sleeping giant. The giant is awake now. And they're coming for your crown, Atlanta. They have already won a Leagues Cup title. So they're one championship away, or two championships away from catching up to you. US Open Cup, MLS Cup, or CCC title, because they're already qualified. The people in that organization that have not heeded my warning since last summer has been the players. I know a lot of you like to talk about the front office and how the front office is not doing their job. How about you become a New York Red Bulls fan? You want to talk about front offices that are not aggressive, front offices that are not striving for excellence? How about you Atlanta United fans take a look at the New York Red Bulls and then come back and see how good you got it? How about you fans go look at the Seattle Sounders front office, the Portland Timbers front office, Philadelphia Union front office, and then come back and look at your front office, and you'll see how good you got it. See, a lot of you fans are still spoiled from the 2017, 2018 seasons. You guys are just spoiled. This front office, their issue is not recruiting. It's not lack of talent. Their issue is, maybe it's similar to New York. Finding players that want to represent ATL. And maybe this is an MLS issue. You have a lot of players who are treating these MLS teams as pit stops. And once they get their text message from their favorite European team, once their favorite European team starts reading them bedtime stories, they now think they're above and bigger than Major League Soccer. When they fail to realize that the main reason why these European teams are recruiting them is just to fill a gap, to temporarily fill a gap until they get the main guy that they want from another European league. That's what it's really about, but I'm not going to get too much into that. The players are not doing their job on the field. The front office is doing their job. The front office is recruiting. They're doing their job. The issue at Atlanta United is not the front office. It's the players. The players lack chemistry. The players lack trust. And there's a lot of individualism. A lot of players on Atlanta they're showcasing their talents for their favorite European team. They're not playing as a team. Atlanta is not united. And it's getting to the point where I think that we should just call them Atlanta FC. Because there is nothing united about this club right now. These players do not play united on that field. You look at Miami. Miami is actually the United club. We could call them International Miami United. Switch the names. Call Miami United, and call Atlanta International. That's what they really are. There's nothing united about this Atlanta Football Club. Nothing. It's a roster full of players that are looking for themselves. It's a roster full of players who don't represent the South. It's a roster full of players that don't want to carry the shield of the A. And they don't understand what it means to represent the A. Atlanta United, during this second half of the season, you need to study the Atlanta Braves. You need to start going to some Atlanta Braves games because it's the second half of their season too. They're getting ready for a playoff push. But excuse me. Sorry, Atlanta Braves. I mean, they're pushing for a championship run. You see, Atlanta United, the difference between you and the Braves, you're fighting for a playoff spot. While the Braves, they already have a playoff spot. You see, the Braves are not thinking about clinching a playoff seed. They're thinking about clinching a championship trophy. You see, when it comes to representing the A, the Braves are the standard. It starts with the Braves. It doesn't start with the Georgia Bulldogs. It doesn't start with the Falcons. We all know it doesn't start with that basketball team. You see, the Braves kind of used to be like you, Atlanta United. The Braves used to be a team that was satisfied with clinching their division and just making the playoffs. And then once they made the playoffs, they used to get bounced out of the early rounds. You see, they were arrogant. They're thinking, we won the division, so we made it through a long, 150 games in the regular season to play good. We have a bunch of good pitchers. We can hit a couple home runs. Playoffs should be nothing. But they didn't realize playoffs in American sports is a totally different season than regular season. And the Braves prided themselves on winning the division. Now, Atlanta United, let me explain to you why winning the division was once and still is important for the Atlanta Braves. You see, when you look at Major League Baseball in the South, there's not a lot of professional teams in the South. There's only like three in the Southeast. Braves, Marlins, Rays. You look at other regions in Major League Baseball, most of them are like in the Northeast and the Midwest. So the Braves have been the baseball face of the South for many, many years, and even up to this day. And in the division, the NL East, majority of the teams are in the North. Mets, Nationals, Phillies. In the South, only two. Braves, Marlins. But then, Miami in general, I don't want to sound disrespectful to I'm not coming across as disrespectful to, Americans that live in Miami, but Miami is not true Southern culture that Americans identify with. The Miami South is more so Latin America, more so Latin American culture. Atlanta is that true Southern culture. Atlanta is the capital of the South. So all the traditional Southern baseball fans in the South, they look on to the Braves. They look up to the Braves to defeat the North. So whenever the Braves win the NL East, it's not only a victory for the Braves, but it's a victory for the South. South Carolina, Alabama, Tennessee, Kentucky, North Carolina. I don't know about Mississippi. Mississippi might be Houston territory. Or maybe it's split in half. The Braves got northern Mississippi and the Astros got southern Mississippi. But whenever the Braves win the NL East, it represents a sign that the South is better than the North. This is why the Braves cherish winning the NL East so much. This is why the Braves treat winning the NL East as if they won the World Series. A lot of people in the media, they like to make fun of the Braves and they question the Braves. Why are the Braves always popping champagne in the locker room whenever they win the division? You don't see the Yankees popping champagne when they win the AL East. You don't see the Dodgers popping champagne when they win the NL West because they're focused on World Series. Winning the NL East for the Braves it's like a mini World Series for them. Because what you people in the media don't understand is whenever the Braves win the NL East, it's a victory for the South. And it's basically the South used this to let the North know that we're better than you. And we will continue to be better than you. That's why winning the NL East is important for the Braves. And also winning the NL East solidifies the Atlanta Braves as king of the South. So the next time you see the Braves popping champagne because they clinched the NL East, just keep that in mind. Winning the NL East is bigger than baseball for the Braves. It is a victory for the South over the North because you got majority of the NL teams in the North. Then you got Braves and Miami in the South, but Miami is more so Latin American culture. So the Braves is that only true Southern culture in the South, in the baseball sector. So when the Braves win, baseball fans in the South are telling the North, we beat you again. And we're going to come back next year and we're going to beat you again. Whenever the Braves win a series, a regular season series, like a 3-game, 4-game series against the Mets, the Nationals, the Phillies, it matters. It matters. So when you look at Atlanta United desires, well, the front office, Mr. Home Depot, they desire to be the king of the South in the soccer sector of this Southern economic industry. But they don't have players that matches that same desire as the ownership group. That's the first issue. The second issue, the competition in the South for soccer, Mr. Home Depot, is much more tougher for you than the Braves. Because the Braves, they're the only traditional Southern team. They don't have it. There's not a team in Nashville. There's not a team in Charlotte. There's not a team in Birmingham. But for Atlanta United in MLS, you got Miami, Orlando, Charlotte, Nashville. And all of them are coming after you, Atlanta United. They don't like the fact that you have bragging rights as King of the South. They're coming for you and they're coming to take your crown. You have two Southeast teams playing in the Leagues Cup title tonight. I mean, that played tonight. Two Southeast teams that did not involve Atlanta United. And Mr. Home Depot, you can't be happy about that. I know you're not happy about that. I know you're not. So I'm calling out the players. Who wants to represent the A? Who really wants to represent the A? Who is willing to put their European fantasies to the side during this final month and a half? To be honest with you, it's only one full month left. You're playing a little bit of games in August. You're only playing like 2 or 3 games in October. So really September is the last month. So that's why I said a month and a half. Who is willing to put their European desires for the last month and a half to secure an Atlanta United spot in the playoffs? Because listen, Atlanta United is not a legacy club, but it could become a major flagship club for Major League Soccer because Atlanta United has the largest fan base in Major League Soccer in terms of attendance, in terms of ticket sales. Atlanta is a major revenue generator for Major League Soccer. And with this Apple TV playoffs, Atlanta United is needed in this year's playoffs. It is bad for Major League Soccer when Atlanta United is not in the playoffs. It hurts the Major League Soccer bottom line when Atlanta United is not in the playoffs. So similar to I said with New York City, I'm looking for guys who wants to represent the A. Similar to say I'm looking for guys in New York who wants to represent New York. It's the same for Atlanta. Diego Almada, Miles Robinson. We know you guys are not coming. We know you guys will not be back in 2024. We know. How about you leave Atlanta as legends? You leave Atlanta as legends by giving Atlanta United another championship. That's what we want. That is the new standard in Atlanta. The Braves. The standard has been set by the Braves. I repeat, the Georgia Bulldogs and the Atlanta Falcons do not set the standard. The Braves, the Atlanta Braves, Major League Baseball, they set the standard for championships in Atlanta. The Braves have moved on from just winning the division. They're no longer satisfied by just winning NL East. Atlanta Braves is now about championships. This decade for the Atlanta Braves is about championships now. Look at them right now. Best record in Major League Baseball. They're sending the message. Atlanta United, look, the Braves are showing you how to do it. They're showing you how it's done. They're setting the standard. That's what I say. You have some time. You have some time during the second half of the season. Go watch some Braves games. Study them. Because they're setting the standard for you. I want to see an Atlanta United redemption during this final month and a half, and including the playoffs. You're going to be in MLS After Dark action tonight in the Great Northwest against the Seattle Sounders, one of the most historical teams in Major League Soccer. a prestigious MLS club. How about you give us a reason to stay awake? How about you give us a reason to stay awake for MLS After Dark tonight in Seattle? Give us a reason to sacrifice some hours from our sleep schedule as we prepare for work on Monday morning to watch you play Atlanta United. No more settling for draws. Look, this is not only for you. Any MLS team that is serious about making the playoffs, no more draws. You have between the month of February through July to get as many draws as you wanted, Atlanta United. Draw season is over. It's all about wins now. Give us a reason to stay awake for MLS After Dark tonight. Do it for us, Atlanta United. Atlanta United, how about you give the MLS world a notice? Let us know that Atlanta United is back. If you are not sick inside your stomach that you're not in that Leagues Cup title game, that I don't know what it is that will motivate you. The front office, the coaching staff, they're doing all they can to put you in the right position to win championships. You the players, y'all got to do your job. Everybody else is doing their job except y'all. You don't have to be a great coach to succeed in Major League Soccer or soccer in general, in my honest opinion. You don't have to be a great coach to succeed in soccer. If you're truly united, where's the chemistry? Where's the trust? I don't see that from you players. Let me see it tonight in Seattle, Washington, during MLS After Dark. You go up there and you dominate them. Look, within this decade, you could catch up with them when it comes to historical achievements, man. You are going to be playing in a prestigious environment, Atlanta United. How about you soak up some of that prestige and dominate that team? You beat that team badly. Because that team's front office is not as they're not as ambitious as your front office. Atlanta United, give us a reason to stay awake for MLS After Dark tonight.